Hello, party people. This is Sarah coming to you on the Extra Podcast, episode 11 here on the Because Maybe Network. For those who might not be aware, I am sometimes one of John's many co-hosts. We've done, I think, at one of the episodes this season I was on, maybe two, I'm not quite sure. And in previous seasons as well. This is the first time, though, that I'm doing this by myself, and there is a reason for that. This is also the first network production with no John. This may be a semi-regular thing. It depends on how this goes over, how you guys feel, and, you know, if my schedule allows. For those who may not know, we have kiddos in the house who... most of them go to school online, and I'm one of their proctors, so it's not like regular homeschooling or anything. But anyway, and I also do freelance work, graphic design, writing, and I also am working on a couple of different novels as well. It's under some different pen names. So I have a lot on my plate. But as far as the Because Maybe Network goes, I am who John refers to as the Chief Whip Cracker. I try to make sure things are going well where I can. I'm big on scheduling. I handle some of the graphic design. Again, I do some of the co-hosting here with John, work with him on the blog. And I do whatever I can on the back end to help make sure that John has what he needs to just be able to talk and produce and get these out to you guys. The reason that I am by myself today sort of goes back into what all is entailed with actually putting one of these videos out, or one of these episodes out. John does not wing it when he sits down with you guys. He puts in a lot, and I know he's mentioned this before, but he puts in a lot of research and time in prepping an episode and a subject. Then there's the actual recording and post-production, and then the video production aspect of it to get it on YouTube, and social media time and all that good stuff. This is a labor of love for himself, for me, for our entire family. You guys have, whether you realize it or not, you've listened to our children, some of our children on this podcast. Our oldest helps with the video editing. So this is, a familial labor of love. And we absolutely adore you guys. And John tries to make sure that things are as good as he could possibly make them. So, case in point, this is my actually second time recording this, because the first time my audio went so, we try to make sure that when things get to you, that they're as good as we can possibly make them. But with all that, obviously comes, a little bit of stress, because you want things to be good. Well, for longtime listeners, you guys know that John has had issues with his depression and mental health. Well, it's been a struggle. And over the last couple of weeks, John almost lost that struggle. Which, as you can imagine, as not just his business partner, but his spouse, that was a little rough. But John had a bit of a breakdown. And then he spent nearly a week in the hospital and worked on getting better. And that is sort of where we're at now. So he's doing well. For those who are battling depression, please, when things get bad, try. And I know that sometimes it's easier said than done. But try to get some help. Try to raise a red flag to whoever you can. For those of us who have loved ones with depression or mental health issues, try to be as observant as you can because they can't always ask. Depression is a fickle, pain in the ass. Sometimes it's easy to see when things are bad, and sometimes it's not. But keeping tabs, and then it's walking that delicate balance of, I don't want to over push and then, get shut out, but I don't want to back off so much to where I don't see what's going on. And, as somebody who, again, if you're in a relationship with someone who has depression, or, you have a loved one, a child, sibling, parent, whatever, it's a fine line, and it can be a little bit of a stressful one. So John was having issues, and he was able to mention, I knew a couple of things were off, but he was able to mention how bad it was. And I attached him to my hip until I could get him to the doctor. And then we got him there, and they realized that he needed to be hospitalized, because a good chunk of it was his depression, but some of it was his medication. So all that needed changed. And in the interim, I've got his brother texting me, telling him, well, it's depression, don't let him see the results of the Arsenal and Man United game. So yeah, it was a fun couple days. But anyway, so John is back home with us now, but he's got to start, he's got to work on his foundation. He's got to make sure that he's good. And what that means for the network is that season 5 in and of itself is done. Chinese democracy is no more. Patreon, we are withdrawing the Patreon page. We feel it's wrong to solicit donations when there's no new content. The Mario World walkthrough will be halted for the moment due to several issues. If it can be fixed, it'll be back in November. He may have to restart the game to get to World 4 because the backup saves didn't work, and the last session apparently completely messed up. Our super secret squirrel project is still planned for after the new year, but it's delayed until. One of the things that we tried to implement for this season, I requested and we tried, but it didn't quite fall the way that it should have, is that at least, preferably all, but at least 75% of the season to be pre-recorded, barring, the intro bits that might have to be recorded closer to time due to current events and whatnot. That didn't happen. We got a little, it became a case of trying to get things out to you guys because, again, this season was Chinese democracy and you had waited long enough for it. But it's not fair, the stop starts, and we've had, admittedly, a lot of those. So I, as business partner and somewhat co-host, and wifey, am putting my foot down. I don't do it often, but season 6, which John is already lovingly referring to as Phoenix from the Flames, and our super secret project that will be coming up next year will not be released until at least 75% of each of them are in the bag, recorded, ready to go. Initially, our little side project, we wanted to release that first quarter. That might happen at the end of the second quarter. It might be third quarter before it comes out. There's 12 months in 2020. It will come out in 2020. I'm not sure at what point during those 52 weeks it will hit. The same thing for season 6. I do not know when it's going to come out. What I do know is that when it comes out, it will be regular because it will be in the bag. It will be in the bag and mostly mixed, barring the intros that he needs to record for each, because, sometimes things happen and he likes to comment on current events and whatnot, and those can be fun. So our social media will still be online, but the only new content is that we're going to be promoting will be a special charity live stream that we are excited about. So John is going to be doing a charity live stream of New and Tasty on Saturday, November 30th for the Movember Foundation. And for those who aren't familiar with Movember, they raise money for men's health issues, both through testicular cancer, other cancers, and mental health. So all of those things are very important, especially the mental health aspect of things in light of recent events here at Casa Connolly. So, and the Because Maybe Network at large. So, John is looking forward to doing the charity live stream of New and Tasty. Again, that will be for you Yanks out there, Thanksgiving weekend. And the only guaranteed new content, because you guys deserve better than empty promises. So, here's what I will promise. We will have the live stream. There will be another extra episode 12, which will have the live stream results. It will have a little more detail about our super secret squirrel project. Barring a release date, because again, I'm putting my foot down on that one. It's just until things get a little more level and, the foundations are a little stronger on stuff. We're just gonna, I want to make sure that things are pre-recorded. Oh, and we'll also, on extra 12, we'll also go over the format for season 6, which is the Phoenix from the Flames. So, we, all of that stuff will be discussed then. Again, we're not going to drop dates because I don't want to promise you guys something. You guys have been amazing to us. But I want to take some time real quick before I wrap up to say thank you. Again, this entire thing has been a labor of love. John by trade is an audio producer, and we are obsessed with all things 90s. So this has been a natural fit for John and for myself and for the, like I said, even the kids. I mean, this is something that he enjoys doing. He looks forward to doing, outside of family. This is one of his greatest joys. And for me, it's been amazing watching him shine through all this. He's built up, at parts of him that I've always known were there, that maybe he didn't realize were there, have come across. So, and you guys have been supportive and amazing, and I adore every single one of you. But I am going to close this out. We're going to link the suicide hotlines for the United States and the UK in the description, along with another link to Movember. Be keeping an eye out on the social media for the dates and links, and I say dates, the links and times and everything that we're going to start the live stream for New and Tasty. And please feel free to reach out to us on Twitter or Facebook, either the podcast or John or myself or whatnot, to offer, if you have any encouragement you want to leave for John, if you have any suggestions for season 6, all that good stuff. So, if you want to reach out, even if it's just to share your own story. I mean, we've built we didn't set out to kind of build a community, but I think we kind of have. You guys have just been wonderful. And again, depression is a bitch, and mental health is hard, man. And so if this is something that you're struggling with, or on the other end, if you are, in a support role, that can, sometimes it's a heavy load to carry, man. So if you need to reach out, just to kind of share your story or whatever, feel free. Again, if you were in a crisis, though, please reach out to the suicide hotlines that we were going to be posting. And just know that it's going to be okay. And sometimes you have to step back and take stock of everything. And as much as you want to do for the world, sometimes doing for the world starts at home, doing for yourself. And that goes for those who are struggling with their mental health, as well as for those in that support role. And I'm going to speak to for a second, especially for those in the support role, because you can't pour from an empty cup. So make sure that while you're doing everything you can to keep the wheels going and to keep everybody, supported and going and whatnot, that you are taking care of yourself and getting whatever sleep you can and, all that good stuff. So take care of yourselves, guys. And we adore you. And we look forward. You'll hear from John on the live stream, obviously. And you may hear from me on episode 12. He may wrap this one up himself. And as far as the format from season 6, that, again, I don't know. Some of those may be just me. Some of those are, I don't know exactly how all that's going to go. We'll figure it out. And then, of course, our super secret squirrel project that John and I are both excited about. So there are good things coming. Thank you guys for your patience and love, and we'll see you on the flip side.